Hi, my name is Chandler Hill. I'm a rigging and hydraulics specialist at SD Boatworks in San Diego, California. A quick rundown of what my job description is like is basically that I wear a lot of different hats. SD Boatworks is a smaller kind of boutique rig shop, so we focus mainly on Grand Prix race boats and the super yacht sides of the industry. Because of that, it kind of requires me to know a wide variety of skills. A typical work week for me can include anything from custom rope work and splicing to hardware to hydraulics or custom composites like carbon fiber or fiberglass. And winches and pedestal systems as well. So we are kind of the people that really make your boat go faster and tune it up and make sure everything's working as quickly and efficiently as possible. So that's kind of what we focus on. So how often do I get to sail myself? Quite a bit. Rigging is kind of like sailmaking where going out and racing is heavily encouraged, and it's kind of like a marketing thing. I actually have a deal with my boss where if I have to take a day off of work to go race, which is obviously heavily encouraged, then for every day of work that I have to take off, I'm required to wear a shop tech shirt while racing each day in order to get our company's name out there. So quite a bit. I get to race as much as I want to, probably more than I want to most times, but you know, if I didn't love it, I wouldn't be in it anyways. So quite a bit. What is my favorite part of my job? So there's probably two things that make it my favorite, that are my favorite parts. First is probably that since we're working on a Grand Prix boats quite a bit, we're always working on the highest tech stuff and the newest technology and the fastest boats. So it's really cool to kind of be up with the industry and see these new products as they come out and learn how to service them, learn where they should and shouldn't get installed, and just be on top of these new cutting edge factors that are coming into the industry. So that's a really cool part that I enjoy at my job. So the second part is probably kind of on top of that. Since I pretty much have to know how to fix almost everything on the boat, that is one of my favorite parts because it makes me even more valuable on a race boat. So in the kind of racing that I focus on in my personal sailing is offshore and distance racing. So when you're 100,000 or 1,000 miles offshore, you may be the only person on the boat that knows how to fix a broken winch or a broken grinding pedestal or a frayed piece of line. So my favorite part is probably learning all these skills that I can apply towards my own sailing adventures. So that makes it really fun. So what is my least favorite part of my job? So this kind of also is my favorite part in a way. My least favorite part is probably that with rigging, you have to get really dirty and you have to be okay with that. There may be days where you're crawling around in a Teflon bunny suit in a tiny, in the side hull of a Orma 60, and you can't even get enough room to put your arm over your shoulder, but kind of have to be in there and get the job done. So it's kind of fun getting dirty and doing these things, but at the same time, I come home and my hands are still black. So it's kind of a win-lose situation, but I try to find the fun out of it as well. So what is one thing we can all do to make the sport better? I think one thing we can do is to be more understanding of the volunteers. I kind of probably have an interesting perspective on this since I used to be a race manager. I think that these people who are putting a lot of time and effort into planning the event should be more thanked for that. And I think that their efforts shouldn't go unseen and unappreciated. because these people love the sport too, and they are sacrificing their time to compete in the sport in order to provide the sport for other people. So I think supporting your race managers, supporting your coaches, and those types of people goes a long way in making the sport more accessible and better for everybody. So I think that could help a lot. A quick word of advice to those aspiring to work in the industry, young and old. So I think the biggest piece of advice I could give is that don't be afraid if you don't know something. If you are scared of putting yourself out there, just do it. Ignorance isn't necessarily a bad thing if you never had the opportunity to learn those things. So put yourself in the situation where you can learn as much as possible and come into that situation with a beginner's mindset and ask a lot of questions and learn as much about that thing you don't know as you can, and put yourself in a surrounding of people that know way more than you do. That way you can learn from them. It may be intimidating at first, but I think most people who have done it would agree that that's how they learned the most. That's definitely how I got faster at racing, was to only go race against people I know were going to kick my butt. So I would definitely say to put yourself out there and don't be afraid to just go and do it.